The initial takeover of Bilwon Farm, it tied in. We were running CDP projects in Kuranda. There's a farm there as well called Numbai Farm, which is 100 acres just outside of Kuranda. Their main CDP activities for Kuranda and for some of the Cairns participants were at Numbai Farm. IJC signed a lease agreement with ILC, Indigenous Land Corporation, in the early stages, and it gave us an opportunity to actually develop this and clean it up. And it has been a great project. I mean, we had people from Kuranda come out here. I mean, they were mowing grass. You know, there's a lot of work initially just to get it tidied up. But we've run construction training programs. All the fences, there are new fences right around this property here. You know, some of that was done over 2 or 3 weeks with construction training. When we first started off, we were selling training to one of the local or to several of them actually, which was horticulture and rural skills. Oh, it's grown from basically being a property that wasn't utilised bar the house. It was just a rental house, essentially. IJC made the decision when the property next door came up to buy it, which they have, which is now has doubled. There are water allocations on both properties, and they actually bought further water rights for the second property. So there's like 53 megalitres here, and I think there's about 73 megalitres next door, which is enough to grow hay crops on your 40 or 50 hectares, acres I should say. And there's a scope there, it's growing into being a farm that is now, you know, viable in some context as a farm, as well as a training program, but it's also opened up the potential for doubling the accommodation facilities on the place and the ability to train 2 groups if you wanted to. You can have groups here and groups on the other farm if you needed to. And I mean, you can utilise the sheds over there to train in as well if you wanted to. Training on the farm, at the moment we've got a construction Cert 2 running here, which is doing up the sheds. They ran a construction Cert 1 or Cert 2, I think, here about 3 or 4 months ago with the same trainer, where they built some shade shelters over there and in the area there where the beside the house where the fireplace is. They do regular conservation land management, which is a youth program. I think they're involved with youth. They have run horticulture here. We've run Cert 1s and Cert 2 in horticulture here in the past. Outside of that, they have run other stuff here in the last year where I haven't been here. I think with for the future of Bilwon, although IJC is an Indigenous organisation and their goal will always be to work with Indigenous people, I think from a business perspective that you need to open it up to a wider range than that, and if that means that you can run training programs in construction, horticulture, whatever, for the broader community through the job networks, then you need to, and I think the idea is to brace that as well, that this has to become a standalone business to justify the expense of buying the farms and taking it over. So that, you know, is once again 2-pronged, is that you need to raise the farming to get as much money as you can out of the farming, and if that means bringing local people in, be they Indigenous or non-Indigenous, and if you can sell training programs in horticulture, construction, you can't limit yourself to Indigenous only. Although you can retain your identity as an Indigenous organisation, that from a business perspective, you've got to be open to any business offers that come in, essentially. And I think that's where they're trying to go, is that is to maximise the potential of the farm itself as a farm. You know, the land, you know, there are prospects, I suppose, for tourism, if you like, because the river's there, you've got access to that. You've got to be very careful with council planning in, you know, sort of bringing people in for various different reasons, the development approvals for a training facility. But I think the training has potential, but it can be broad-based. It doesn't need to be horticulture and construction. It can be art, it can be anything. I mean, with the size of the training facilities that will end up here, then it's open to anything. Realistically, I mean, you can do hospitality, you can teach people river guiding. Yeah, I think that you need to have an open mind, and I mean, you know, the limits of your business are only limited by, you know, your own imagination and how far you want to take it.